Have you ever walked away from a conversation with your partner feeling dizzy? Not from anger, not from sadness, but from a deep, unsettling confusion that makes the world feel like it's tilting on its axis. You walk in knowing what you saw, what you heard, what you felt, and you walk out questioning everything, wondering if maybe, just maybe, you're the one who's crazy. This is the bewildering, disorienting signature of being in a relationship with a man who gaslights you. And it's one of the most insidious forms of emotional manipulation because it doesn't leave bruises, it doesn't break bones. It quietly and systematically dismantles your trust in your own mind. The central paradox, the question that keeps you up at night, is this: how can the person who claims to love you, to be your partner, be the very architect of your self-doubt? How can his love feel like a slow, creeping fog that blurs the lines of reality? This isn't about simple disagreements or having a different perspective. We all have those. This is a pattern, a deliberate or unconscious strategy to gain control by making his version of reality the only one that's allowed to exist. And to do this, he often wears different masks, switching between them so seamlessly you don't even realize the performance has changed. Let's look at the three most common faces of the gaslighter, the ones you might recognize with a chilling sense of familiarity. First, there's the objective analyst. This is the man who positions himself as the calm, rational center of the universe, while you are painted as the hysterical, emotional mess. Your feelings aren't valid input. They are data points of your irrationality. You might say something like, "It really hurt my feelings when you dismissed my idea in front of our friends." Instead of hearing your pain, he will dissect your statement. He'll say, "You're being overly sensitive. It wasn't a dismissal. It was a logical counterpoint. You always overreact and make things emotional." See what he did there? He didn't just disagree with you. He invalidated the very foundation of your feeling. He reframed your hurt as a personal failing, your oversensitivity, your tendency to make things emotional. He becomes the sole keeper of the facts, the arbiter of what really happened. His version is objective truth. Your version is a story warped by feelings. Over time, you start to believe it. You start to censor your own emotions, telling yourself, "Maybe I am too sensitive. Maybe I shouldn't feel this way." You stop trusting your own emotional compass because he has convinced you it's broken. He makes you feel like your heart is an unreliable narrator, and only his cold, hard logic can be trusted. It's an incredibly effective way to silence you, because you learn that expressing any feeling will just lead to a trial where you are always found guilty of being irrational. Then there's the second, more blatant type, the Amnesiac Denier. This is perhaps the most mind-bending form of gaslighting. He will look you straight in the eye and deny saying or doing something that you have a crystal clear memory of. You'll say, "But you promised me yesterday that you'd call the bank this morning." And he'll respond with a blank stare or a look of slight pity and say, "I absolutely never said that. You must have dreamt it. You're making things up again." It's not a simple "I forgot." It's a direct assault on your memory. The certainty with which he denies it is what throws you off balance. It's so absolute, so unwavering, that for a split second you think, could I have possibly imagined an entire conversation? He will deny promises, insults, agreements, entire events. He turns your memory into a crime scene, and you are the only unreliable witness. He might say you're putting words in his mouth, or that you have a selective memory that only remembers the bad things. This tactic is devastating because our memories are the bedrock of our identity. They are the stories we tell ourselves about who we are and what we've experienced. When someone you trust repeatedly tells you that your memory is faulty, you begin to feel like your own past is a lie. You start second-guessing every recollection, big or small. You might even find yourself apologizing for things you were sure he did, simply because the argument that ensues from holding your ground is too exhausting, too crazy-making. He is essentially corrupting the hard drive of your mind, one file at a time, until you can no longer trust any of the data stored there. Finally, and perhaps most cruelly, there is the concerned troller. This is the master manipulator because he cloaks his psychological attacks in the language of care and concern. He doesn't just tell you that you're wrong, he tells you that you're unwell and that he's worried about you. Instead of, "You're overreacting," he'll say, with a soft, patronizing tone, "Honey, I'm getting worried about you. You seem to be forgetting a lot of things lately. Are you feeling okay? Maybe you should talk to someone." He weaponizes your mental health against you. He'll bring up times you were stressed or anxious and use them as evidence that your current perception of reality is flawed. He might say things like, "You know you haven't been yourself since that stressful project at work. I think it's affecting your memory." This is so damaging because it feels impossible to fight against. How can you argue with someone who is just concerned for your well-being? It isolates you completely. He positions himself as your sole caretaker, the only one who can see how unstable you've become. He might even suggest this to your friends or family, planting seeds of doubt about your stability, so that if you ever try to tell them what's happening, they're already primed to see you as the unreliable one. He creates a world where he is your protector from your own broken mind, a mind that he himself has been carefully breaking, piece by piece. It's a terrifying cage built with bars of feigned kindness. These three faces, the Analyst, the Denier, and the concerned troller, are the tools he uses to chip away at your reality, leaving you standing in the rubble, completely dependent on him to tell you which way is up. So when you're standing there, in the quiet aftermath of another conversation that has twisted your reality into a pretzel, the question that echoes in your mind isn't just what happened, but why. Why does he do this? Is he a monster who enjoys seeing you confused? Or is he somehow broken, completely unaware of the damage he's causing? The truth is, the behavior we call gaslighting typically springs from one of two very different psychological sources. Understanding the why isn't about excusing the behavior, but it's absolutely critical for you to reclaim your sanity and decide what to do next. And it almost always comes down to whether he is a conscious manipulator or an unconscious reactor. On one end of the spectrum, you have the calculated controller. This is the man whose gaslighting is a tool, a deliberately wielded weapon in a quiet war for power. His behavior often aligns with what we might call narcissistic tendencies, a deep, insatiable need to feel superior, special, and in control at all times. For him, a relationship is not a partnership. It's a hierarchy, and he must be at the top. His self-worth is incredibly fragile, like a hollow eggshell, and it's entirely external. He can only feel big by making you feel small. So when he tells you, "That's not what happened, you're remembering it wrong," it's not a mistake. It's a strategic move to establish his narrative as the official record. By invalidating your reality, he makes you dependent on him for the truth. He becomes the storyteller, and you are just a character in his script. This is how he maintains control. If you have your own valid memories, feelings, and perceptions, then you are an independent person. And to a man like this, your independence is a terrifying threat to his dominance. His gaslighting is cold, precise, and has a clear objective: to erode your confidence so completely that you never question his authority. He needs your world to be small so his can feel vast. But then, there's the other, more tragically complex origin: the wounded child. This man isn't necessarily a cold-blooded strategist. He's a reactor, driven by a lifetime of unprocessed pain. He likely grew up in an environment where his own reality was constantly denied. Perhaps he had a volatile parent whose mood dictated the truth of the day, or where expressing his own feelings was met with punishment or dismissal. He learned a brutal lesson early on. Accountability is dangerous, and shame is an annihilating force. For him, gaslighting isn't a strategy for power. It's an unconscious defense mechanism for survival. When you confront him with something he did wrong, "You said you would be home, and I was worried," his brain doesn't register it as a simple statement of fact. It registers as a profound threat, an accusation that triggers that old, deep-seated terror of being bad, wrong, or unlovable. In that moment, his denial, "I never said that. Why are you always trying to start a fight?" is a panicked, reflexive attempt to push away that unbearable feeling of shame. He is not trying to control you so much as he is desperately trying to control his own inner chaos. He learned in childhood that the truth is flexible, that reality can be bent to avoid pain, and he is unconsciously repeating that pattern with you. He is treating you the way he was treated, forcing you into the role of the person who is crazy so that he doesn't have to feel like the one who is broken. Here's the underlying, uncomfortable truth that connects both the controller and the wounded child. Whether his actions are born from a cold need for power or a hot flash of panic, the gaslighting is always a strategy to protect a profoundly fragile sense of self. A man with a solid internal sense of worth doesn't need to control your reality. He can handle you having a different memory of an event. He can hear that he hurt your feelings and not have it shatter his identity. He can apologize. But for the man who gaslights, your independent mind is a mirror showing him his own inadequacies, his own mistakes, his own fears, and he cannot bear to look. So instead of fixing his own internal structure, he works tirelessly to demolish yours. By making you question your sanity, he distracts from the deafening roar of his own insecurity. He needs you to be the problem, because the alternative, that the problem lies within him, is simply too terrifying for him to contemplate. He builds his entire emotional stability on the foundation of your self-doubt. So this brings us to the most important question of all, the one you need to sit with. Think about the pattern. Think about his behavior. Which one are you dealing with? When he invalidates you, does it feel cold, calculated, and intentional, like a chess move designed to keep you in your place? Is there a subtle smirk, a sense of satisfaction he gets from seeing you confused? That's more likely the calculated controller. Or does it feel like a frantic, almost panicked scramble? A desperate, reflexive denial that comes out before he even has time to think, fueled by a fear that feels almost childlike? That's the wounded child. Recognizing the motive isn't about excusing him. The damage is the same. The pain is real. But knowing the source gives you the clarity to understand what you are truly up against and empowers you to make a choice for your own safety and future. Now that you see the pattern, what's your next step? I'd really appreciate it if you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more insights that can help you navigate these complex dynamics and reclaim your own reality.